So when it comes to influencers fighting, there's only a handful of them that are watchable. The only one I can think of off top is Bryce Hall, and that's because he went fucking bare knuckle brawling. It wasn't a gimmick fight. This guy took off the gloves and said, let's fucking run it. I know Jake Paul is now getting his face into the actual world of boxing instead of just the streaming side of it, but I don't care what you say. If he was a regular boxer who wasn't YouTube famous, with his record, no one would know who he is. He's ranked 22nd in his weight class, and there are guys who have fought as low as one fight who are in the top 10. And you're hearing about Jake Paul because he's traveling with the US Olympic team as a glorified mascot. This video is about another YouTuber who made fun of the wrong person and now has to go into damage control when he realizes that not everyone has the same sense of humor and your jokes come off as fighting words. Obviously, you guys know who Sneako is, and like most of the time, he had some choice words to say, this time about Mikey Musumeci. I couldn't find the full clip, but here's the clip that everyone is posting.
A master of jiu-jitsu is somebody that inspires another generation, and then they're doing the positions that you created.
Like, how is there a combat sport where these people, like, they look like the Soul Boy collage? How are they winning combat sport competitions?
Now, obviously, that was a shot at Mikey's appearance. Apparently, Sneako thinks everyone needs to look like a fucking Chad if you're gonna be good at combat sports. But I'm assuming you guys have no idea who Mikey is. I didn't, but after a little research and seeing what this guy was able to accomplish in the jiu-jitsu world, which include a 22-2 record, as well as 10 gold medals and the fastest submission in world finals history, just alone that Sneako was watching him fight in the one championship should have already told him something also. One championship to Asia is basically what UFC is to America. If you're living anywhere over there in that part of the world and you want to become a fighter, you want to make it to one. And ever since Mikey has made it there, he hasn't lost. So when Mikey heard about what Sneako was saying, he calls him out.
So today I'm going to talk about bullies. Bullies are weak people that make fun of others around them to give themselves relevance and to make themselves feel good. They pick on the differences of humans, which is the most beautiful part of humans, their uniqueness. I really don't like bullies, guys. And there's this guy named Sneako making fun of me, making fun of my friend, making fun of jiu-jitsu. He calls himself a boxer. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm going to shut his mouth and I'm going to take the bully's lunch money.
And of course, after basically seeing this threat on your life, because if Sneako agrees to do this without taking a 4-year training buffer, and even then, when he gets into the ring, he's going to get comically tied up like he was a fucking cartoon character. But of course, after seeing Mikey's response, his whole attitude changes.
Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm going to shut his mouth and I'm going to take the bully's lunch money.
Is that what a bully is? I make jokes. I'm a streamer. I joke about everybody, me, chat, everything, all day, every day. What? I said in that video you're upset about, you would make me tap in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You would win. In MMA, even with striking, you would go, this is what you would do. Grab my heel and do the same shit you did to your master. You would win. You're a world champion. I train boxing sometimes. What the fuck do you think the result was gonna be? Is this a skit? I was looking at this and reading through the comments like, is everybody pranking me? Is everybody in on some sort of joke?
Notice how he goes from wondering how someone like Mikey can be good at jiu-jitsu to, I said you can beat me up, why even mad? Am I pranked? Are you punked? Am I being Ashtoned right now? Because you got your information from the wrong person. I said you were the greatest of all time. Like, you can tell Sneako wants to clear all this up, like there isn't a clip of him talking shit going around everywhere. And you would think that if he did say all this, people wouldn't just be posting this one clip of him talking shit. You can look up Mikey Sneako on YouTube, Twitter, whatever, and there isn't one person posting or replying saying, post a full clip where he says he's the champ and he'll make him tap. There was one person who replied with, jiu-jitsu is gay, I'll bet he'll enjoy hugging Sneako, and it's like showing this many teeth when you smile is gay. But lo and behold, I was able to find the stream where he said this to get the whole clip to see if he was actually being a bully or not. And to Sneako's credit, he does say Mikey could make him tap, but here's everything leading up to that point.
Position I hit is called an Aoki lock. It's a modified heel hook, but
Jiu-jitsu is for autistic people.
I learned this position from Shinya Aoki. It's his submission that he invented. What I think of a master of jiu-jitsu is somebody that inspires another generation, and then they're doing the positions that you created.
Like, how is there a combat sport where these people, like, they look like the Soul Boy collage? How are they winning combat sport competitions? What the cap? Jiu-jitsu, I swear, this is why I like striking. This is so,
This is a competition where it's an art and it's an art form, and I learned from the master.
Gina deserves
He looks like Mark Zuckerberg. He shouldn't be winning.
so much credit. I did his move on him. So that's like a master to student. He's an idol of mine for being 40
It's like a master to the student. This is a leg heel lock.
years old and still competing and challenging himself. That's a champion. Position I hit is called an Aoki lock. It's
An Aoki?
He's saying he would make me tap. He probably would. He probably would.
So after a minute of straight talking shit about not just Mikey, but the whole sport of jiu-jitsu and how everyone who's a part of it is autistic, he spends 4 seconds admitting that he could probably make him tap. Now take that 4 seconds and compare it side by side to what Sneako said he was saying.
He's saying he would make me tap. He probably would. He probably would. I said in that video you're upset about, you would make me tap in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You would win. In MMA, even with striking, you would go, this is what you would do. Grab my heel and do the same shit you did to your master. You would win. You're a world champion. I trained boxing sometimes. What the fuck do you think the result was gonna be? Is this a skit? I was looking at this and reading through the comments like, is everybody pranking me? Is everybody in on some sort of joke? Jiu-jitsu is for autistic people.
Sneako is the biggest pussy in the streaming community. At least Neon stands on what he says in front of the person he's talking shit about. Sneako got bitched into adding extra stuff into his story to make sure Mikey knows that mocking the way he talks was just a harmless joke. Even if he was joking, he was still making fun of jiu-jitsu like it's something he can do but doesn't want to because it's for autistic people. That's literally like a fucking compliment to autistic people, and he doesn't even know that. And even if he wasn't being a bully in this instance, his chat, which basically represents him, are the ones talking shit. No matter how Sneako puts it, he was being a bully. He was mocking the way this guy talks.
It's like a master to the student.
Saying he looks like Mark Zuckerberg, which makes no fucking sense because he was training with Adesanya and Volkanovski. And you want to see who Sneako trains with?
Don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes. Good.
Sneako grapples like he was trying to give you a blowjob by surprise, but you're always fast enough to block it. And no, this doesn't mean that I'm saying I can beat him up. In my next video, don't worry, I'll explain how you're the greatest and how I didn't call you out for balding. Man's got a fucking donut hole starting to form. Not to mention, his hairline corner thing is like going way farther back than I ever thought mine was. Once again, Sneako is a pussy and backtracked on everything he was saying once he looked up who he was talking about and realized that even if Mikey was autistic, he could beat his fucking ass. I can't wait for a streamer to say something to the wrong person and then they just happen to meet up in public later, because it's always funny seeing a streamer's live reaction to being confronted with something. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.